This is my 1996 TVR Chimera 400, which I've owned since 2020 and will own for about another 18 hours. Yeah, it's going. So why am I getting rid of my 1996 TVR Chimera 400? Well, yeah, I've had a bit of a meltdown. No, I haven't. I haven't had a meltdown, but the Chimera is going. It first appeared on the channel probably 2022, I think. Somewhere around then. I've owned it since 2020, as I say. I've done some videos on it fairly recently, including doing a .5 brake conversion. The jam jars. We'll touch base on those later. That's not related to this car. So, yeah, basically, I've had this car a while, and I've decided, at the end of last week, no more. Bittersweet, actually, for me, because I do quite like this car, but the simple fact of the matter is I have too many projects. I have too many cars, and some of them I can make a case for, and some of them I can't. I need less things on my to-do list. This is a kind of, it's not a reset, but it's compartmentalization. This is not a car that I need. And I know that sounds stupid because I'm surrounded by an SM and Imp and not a DS and loads of stuff outside. I realise I don't need any of this stuff, but there's levels, there's limits. What does this car actually bring in for me? Well, if I get it going on the road, if I put it on the road, yeah, they're great to drive. I'll enjoy driving it, but I'm not going to use it every day. And if I was going out on a weekend drive, say, if I was going out on a cruise around the countryside or to a classic car show or something like that, well, I would much rather take the D or the SM if I were to ever get that on the road. Or my BX 16 valve, which is still at home. That's 3 Citroens. My wife's just bought a BMW Z4, which has been on the channel already. And to be honest with you, that does 80% of what this does, but costs 1,300 quid. And you can put the roof up in 10 seconds if it starts raining. In this one, it's a whole event. You can't compare them. This is more fun than a BMW Z4. I'm not going to pretend it's not. But it's kind of a project. It's a rolling project, but it's a project. And what would have happened with it? If I'd have seen it all the way through and got it on the road, what would have happened with this car? I'd have just had to keep trying to find somewhere to park it. I have too many. I've never actually had this car on the road. That's the crazy thing. This car has always been in here. It's never, with me, been on the road. What do I do with it? There's no point having it. So, last week I made a post on Book of Face, Facebook. And I said in a TVR group or a couple of TVR groups that in 2020 I can be completely open now, I paid the rather bargain price for this car of £7,500, which for one of these is really good value. But because I own it now, the values have now dropped. The values of these cars seem to go up, and then I buy one, and then they come down. And then I sell them, and then they go up. It seems to be me, basically, who's killing the value. So you can all thank me later if you own these cars. No, I don't know why that is. I think it's just bad timing and bad planning. The last one I bought when things were buoyant and sold it during the recession in 2010. And then this one I bought during COVID when the value of cars was actually, cars like this was a little bit higher because people were bored and sat at home and like just buying stuff and getting it delivered. This got delivered on a truck. And now I'm selling it at a point where the values of Chimeras have dropped. These are really cheap cars. £7,500 in 2020 was a bargain. £7,500 today? Not really, not so much. I mean, it's still a cheap Chimera, but it's not an absolute bargain. I had put the car back up for £7,500, the same £7,500 that I paid for it, which you're thinking, well, if the values have dropped, why would you do that? Well, as you might have seen in the videos, I've done work to it. I've refurbished the pedal box, I've fitted all new brakes all round. I went to town on all that, and the steering. I forgot about the steering column. I did the steering column as well. A new battery in it. Thank you, channel member Phil. Yeah, I've done bits and bobs on the car, and I've bought parts for it. They're in the boot, so it's a rolling thing. But I never actually finished it. But I've done enough to it, I think, to make the value kind of offset the difference. So the depreciation has been offset by the fact I've done work to it. So I went back in at 7.5. thinking that's fair. That's a fair price. And I actually put in the advert that if people didn't want to pay 7.5, I'll just keep it and put it on my to-do list. But my to-do list is too big. And then I was contacted by a man who said that he would like to buy the car, but he didn't want to pay me in currency. He wanted to swap a car for it. Originally, I would have said, no thank you. And then I saw what car it was. And then the little excited part of me thought, oh, I haven't had one of them before. That could be fun. So I'm not actually reducing the number of cars that I've got. I'm getting rid of a car, but getting another car. Compartmentalisation is not going well. However, the other car is a roadworthy car. It is a running MOT car until about May. It's on the road, which is good. It's not a project. It's just a car that works. So, and then eventually I can sell that car potentially for more than this one. I think for more than the 7.5 that this one was up for. Probably not a huge amount more, but I think maybe worth more. What is that car? Well, you'll have to wait and see. Obviously, I've got to get my footage out of it, so I've got to do videos and stuff like that. But this video is not about that. This video is about the Chimera, and to a lesser extent, the other advert I put out at the time. Yeah. I think it's time to move Hilda on. For those unaware, Hilda is my 1973 storage area for soft items. It's also a Hillman Imp. Might not have seen this car for a while. I had a paddy and threw it in the corner. And that is where it has remained. And yes, it does look rather funky, doesn't it? It's been sat here, gathering dust. Well, it's not been gathering dust because it's got a cover over it. So it's not even gathered dust. It's just kind of sat here waiting. Waiting for what? This car needs a bit of work. It cost a hell of a lot of money to put this car together. The stories of this car are already on the channel here. There is a playlist dedicated to this car with many videos in it. I've had a very tumultuous relationship with this car, very up and down. It will pain me a little bit to move this car on, but again, there's no point keeping it. Because if it came to it, and there was a drive out in the countryside, what am I going to take? My BX 16 valve? My D? It's not a DS? The car I'm getting tomorrow? There's all sorts of cars you take out ahead of this one. This is a huge amount of fun, this car. It really is. It's a colossal giggle because it has a Saxo VTR engine in the back. 1.6 litre, 8 valve on bike carbs, 121 horsepower. This car is at the top of my modified dyno list because it's making 227% more power than it did when it was new, when it was standard. Yeah, it has a lot of money spent on it. Carbon fibre. This weighs less than a kilo. It's nuts, this thing. It really is bonkers. In many ways, I've enjoyed it immensely having it because it's been a case where I can kind of, not showcase, that's a stupid way to put it, but I can experiment and I can play and I can make things and design things. And I've enjoyed that very much. And I think in an ideal world, I would never sell it. I'd keep it in my infinitely sized barn and use it as my kind of canvas to go and make stuff. I'd make brackets. This is my Binky. This is my Project Binky. It's not quite the level of Project Binky. It's a fair bit less than that, but it's up there. But Binky was my inspiration when I was doing a lot of the work on this car. A lot of the brackets, the fabrication, the design, the thought, the mechanical kind of thought that goes into things. But unfortunately, that's the thing that let me down with it, because I think what I've done is created a car that kills its engine. It's boiled the engine up. The engine is overheated, and I think it's because I've tried plumbing the heater back into it. The Hillman Imp originally has a heating circuit with heater metrics at the front and a radiator at the back. I now have a radiator at the front, and I'm trying to pump the coolant to the front as well. Now, I don't think it's an issue with the water pump per se. I think the water pump is man enough. I could be wrong, but I think it is. But I think also the main problem is what I've done is I've got a circuit that shuts and opens depending on whether you want hot or cold coolant. going through the heater matrix, whereas the Saxo engine is not designed to have that. The Saxo engine has a constant flow through the heater circuit and a flap inside the car. There's no heater valve, it's a flap. Hot air this way, cold air that way. It either blocks off the hot air and lets in the cold air, or vice versa. There's no restriction in the heater circuit, and I've created one. And I think that's balked how it's flowed. Now, I didn't actually think this would be a problem because it never used to have the heater in the first place, but we must, I'm guessing, have plumbed one end of the heater output on the engine to the other and just put a loop in it. We must have done, because if we'd put two dead ends on it, we'd have had the same problem. I think that's what the issue's been, but the nut and bolts of it is that it's blown the engine. The engine, well, I say it's blown it. It's misfiring. I haven't looked at it at all. As you know, if you've watched this channel a long time, I threw it in the corner here, literally, because it's the only thing that fits in this corner, and walked away from it. The reality is, it's not a project for me anymore. I'm just looking at the back end and I can see the carbon fibre through here on a Hillman imp. It's just so cool. Yeah, it's not a project for me anymore. It's a project for someone else. Or potentially it might even get broken up to bits because of, you know, I don't know what it's worth in parts. I'd have to add it all together. It's got a lot of custom bits on it. It's had a hell of a lot of money spent on it. And I couldn't count the hours that have gone into it, but it would be thousands. It's just, yeah. I'll be gutted. I will be gutted to see this car go, but I think it has to go. I don't have infinite space, and I certainly don't have infinite time. And every other car in here at the moment that's mine is a hindrance to the one that matters. And the one that matters is that one. That is the dream. For various reasons, I haven't worked on this car for some time. Well, I haven't had lights recently, so that was one problem. I just haven't had a chance to get near it. And then I got, you can see the wings of it, I got the D. That I had, you know, right, if you've watched this channel, well, you know I had to take that. I could not say no to that. Too many boxes were ticked. It was free. It had no engine. It needed saving. I had an engine and a gearbox sat on a pallet doing nothing. The right engine for that car. And look at it. It's such a cool colour. I really like it. But it's a lot of work. This one is more work. Is in a much worse state, admittedly. But that is the dream. So the plan with this one was eventually get that on the road. Use it as a kind of test bed. Practicing things, because the SM is very similar to a D underneath. Use that, drive it on the road, enjoy it while that's being driven, be working on this. And that can still happen, but it can't happen if I'm prattling about with this or with an imp. I have to draw the line. Cars like this thing and that thing, that's not so much of a problem. They're not big projects. They are consuming a lot of my time. They are consuming a lot of my brain, and to be honest, I have made yet again another mistake. I've gone all in. I shouldn't have both. I should have had one or the other, and I had agreed to that one first, so really that shouldn't be here. But I wanted that because it's a white ZX Volcan pre-facelift 5-door, as I've said in the ZX Volcan video the other day. But I have both of these cars, but these will be raffle cars. I will fix these up, and I am fixing them up, as you can see. They are being worked on, and they will go to new homes, and that helps support the channel. It helps keep the channel going, because without stuff like this, without raffling these cars off now, the channel does not survive. It is not viable. And plus, I really like giving cars away to people for £1. I just get a real kick out of it. It's really enjoyable. There's an update coming on that. That one's getting broken for spares. Is anyone needing anything off a Xantia Activa? The suspension is spoken for at the moment. I may well break the engine for bits. I don't think it's worth anything complete anymore. But yes, the car is getting broken and will be weighed in pretty soon, because I need this space to put a Griffith body. But sad as it is to say it, I think Hilda's time on the channel is done. There's a whole pile of stuff behind it that I also need to sell. Yeah, I think Hilda's time is done. What am I going to do with it? It's a rough time, but as you can see, I've changed the wheels back to the ones from the ones that I put on it. I will sell those separately. The chap, I gave him the option and he wanted these wheels on it. I never even got it on the road. I've never driven it on the road, that. Actually, I have. When a customer used to own it in about 2013, 2014. But the TVR content is not going to end. The logo of this channel is green and purple. The purple represents TVR. The green, you can probably guess what the green represents. And the white represents anything else, because white is every colour combined. So yeah, there's not going to be a drop in TVR content. I'm occasionally give little updates on this thing. Or that's oh, that one! Wow. Yeah, that's one of the reasons Hilda's going, because I haven't got the space in my head for both of those, and that's not even mine. That one. But I can't deal with both of them because they're both the same kind of thing. They're totally different cars, but they're both the same sort of thing. So yeah, obviously yes, I'll work on TVRs for a living, not the YouTube thing, just my day-to-day job. So there are TVRs variously. There's one there, there's one at the back, and that one I do want to feature on the road when it's on the road. Hopefully the owner will be happy with that, because I just love Cerberus, and they're lovely. I just love them. I don't think I'd actually own one, but yes, so that's kind of where we're at. This video is kind of out of sync with some of the other ones that are coming up, but this is kind of live as to what's happening now. There's not much more to say, really. Thank you for the videos. Thank you for watching the videos. If you've been watching the videos and this, and they don't do big numbers, there's another reason why there's no point keeping it. I sold the C6. And numbers-wise, on the channel, that was the best performing car of all the ones I've got, including that one, and including this one. The C6 was the highest, the best performing in terms of views and income. But these, nothing. I think people aren't interested in it, which is a shame, because there's actually a lot to get into with these. It's a completely different way of doing things, but yes, unfortunately, my time has ended with this one. This is going to Cornwall, and there is a car coming from Cornwall tomorrow, and I am absolutely bricking it.